Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, my fellow Chibits. Today, I'm here to bring all of you the weekly manga chapter review of The Promised Neverland Chapter 3. Now, I'm very glad to see this once again translated because I was actually worried. I was very worried that we were not going to get a new chapter of this series. I was very worried it was going to get dropped by the translation team and we were never going to get to see the continuation until maybe either it got axed or if it continued to gain popularity and eventually got translated. So I'm glad to see it continuing to get supported, getting translated, and I'm glad I get to see this series because, to be honest, I'm actually growing rather invested into this series. I really like this series so far, and I truly hope that Weekly Shonen Jump does not give this the axe, because if it can survive over 10 chapters, 10 to 15 chapters, we have a potential very good long-running series. But getting off of that, though, I don't want to focus on Weekly Shonen Jump or anything like that. I want to just focus on the core content of The Promised Neverland Chapter 3. So, from this chapter, we had quite a few twists, and also a jump scare. Now, when I say jump scare, I mean jump scare. I had my lights completely off. Like, it was pitch dark in my room. It's late at night. It's around, like, 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 a.m. right now when I read the chapter. And I had all the lights off. I was just, bundled up in a blanket, just reading the chapter and all that. Having some tea and stuff on the side. And I'm like, you know what? I see the chapter out. I'm going to read it. And then, depending on how it was, I'll do a video on it right now, or I might do it in the morning. Decided to do it now because it was just that good of a chapter. So I'm reading it. It's completely dark and all that. You know how you are. You just get in that comfortable mode. And so I'm reading the chapter and all that. And eventually I get to the part, page 14, and you see the face that the mama makes towards Emma, and I'm like, yo, that's straight up jump scare. Like, in my screen, it's fucking supersized large. Like, I zoom into the manga pages, so I get to see it up close. And so, as I flip the page, I see this big fucking face of the mom looking at Emma right there, just staring at her. I'm like, yo, it's fucking creepy, dude. Like, it was such a creepy-ass face. Even that one face when she's smiling. There was just so many creepy moments in this chapter. I'm like, damn, I didn't know this series had a jump scare. And I mean, it's a rarity, honestly. I mean, manga giving you a jump scare? What? Like, yeah, what? So, yeah, definitely some points for The Promised Neverland for making a very creepy tone to this chapter, and it's been creepy since the first chapter. It has. It's been rather dark and something that you don't normally see in Weekly Shonen Jump, so seeing, once again, the continued atmosphere of the dark tones to the creepy art and stuff, it added a plus to this chapter. I love the direction that the series is going. So, the mama definitely gets a lot of points for being a very creepy character. A lot of the facial expressions that we've been seeing from her, especially in this chapter, is completely awesome to see. And definitely probably one of her faces are probably going to be a part of the thumbnail. Maybe the jump scare, page 14, will probably be the thumbnail. But whatever the case, or whatever thumbnail I might choose for the video, the chapter raises a lot of questions, and also it reveals some certain things. And to talk about the stuff that was revealed, the mom, apparently, she is also a person that's a part of the entire farm. She is cattle as well. And so she's not just the farmer, she also is a cattle. She is a livestock that will eventually be harvested. And we get to find out some details that apparently, if one of the children escape or something doesn't go right, she will be harvested and then turned into food as well. So this raises a lot of questions right here for the world of The Promised Neverland. How does someone get in the state as the mom? Like, how do you get into that position? Like, do you have to grow up and eventually they decide if, you get enough good scores or something, if they don't want to eat you, you get thrown into that, in type of position to watch over children? Or is someone from the outside of the orphanage brought in and been watching over the children, and depending on their job, they'll either get thrown out or they will stay there if they continue to do a good job and raise the children? Whatever the case may be, there was a lot of questions with that, because it raises a question like, okay, so how long have these demons or these aliens or whatever been around? Because we actually get to see the calendar at the end of the chapter, and it says 2045. 2045 is the date that we're at. Now, we don't know if this calendar is accurate or not. We don't know if it goes by a different type of calendar in this world. We have no idea, but judging by if we're going by our accurate dates and stuff, it's at 2045. So if it's year 2045 and we're going by our normal, Earth-type dates, that would mean that judging by the age of the mom, if she's around 20, 30, maybe even 40 years old, that would mean around our time, maybe 2016, maybe 2020 or whatever, is when the demons or the aliens finally attacked the area and then eventually enslaved humanity or turned, different humans into slaves and then livestock, because that's kind of where I consider what's going on here, because the mother, she also has a barcode, a stamp on her, which is also probably a tracking device implanted inside of her body, so most likely at one point in time she was a part of an orphanage and then was, living amongst children and then probably graduated from that and eventually got to watch over an orphanage as well. So there's a lot of questions there about how this is done or how long the demons or aliens or whatever have been doing this to humans for a very long time, but it's still cool. I love the world building that this chapter tried to do. It raised a lot of questions, but also it answered a couple of things of what type of things are driving these characters. So let's talk about one thing that was brought up in this chapter. Now, it's just a hunch. There's a likely possibility that this can be completely wrong, so just take this with a grain of salt. Do not think that this is accurate. I'm just throwing it on out there. But one of the main characters, okay, we have the trio. We have the three main characters of the series, the three children, and then we have the mom. That's kind of what the main plot is revolved around, where the children are trying to escape from the orphanage and trying to outsmart the mother before they can leave and not be turned into livestock. That's kind of what's going on here. That's the main plot. And we have our three genius kids that are getting perfect scores. There's one kid, as we know, Ray, and he seems to have this mysterious aura about him that kind of smells of he knows something. He knows that something is going on here. He knows that there's something off here, and he knows more than he's letting us know. He knows more than he's letting Emma and them know. And so I feel like there's something off with his character, and I could see something maybe eventually down the road. Maybe he's some form of, different type of child in the orphanage. Maybe he might eventually tell the truth to the mom of what's going on. I could see something like this happening, but I'm very curious to see if Ray might be turned into a betrayer or something, betray everybody, or maybe he has a different goal in mind, or he's known for a very long time what's been happening to the children, but he hasn't revealed it to anyone else, because the way his character has been displayed, it's just very mysterious, and so I think something is definitely going on there when it comes to his character. But overall, the chapter of The Promised Neverland, it was a very good chapter, solid chapter. I love the progression, I love the setup, I love the plot twist. It's definitely becoming an interesting series, and hopefully it continues to go down this path and become an even better series as the chapters go on. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Chapter 3 of The Promised Neverland. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you all feel about this week's chapter? Can't wait to see Chapter 4 translated and to come out. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. I love you all. Chibi out.